Welcome to You Rolled a One, Letters to Demeclees Part 2, catch-up episodes from episodes 5 through 9. We start by following a young, portly individual, aged about 12, as he wanders through the castle hall towards Demeclees' personal chambers. He's carrying a number of different crinkled parchments and a large leather-bound book. He gets to the front of a large wooden door, knowing Demeclees is waiting for him inside, takes a deep breath, and knocks on the door with lots of force.
What? Enter!
He sticks his head in gingerly.
My good Lord Demeclees, it is I, Beefaroni, son of Chef Moyardee, here for your history lesson, and the correspondence from other noble houses.
Yes, they did tell me a new page would be coming by. That last one, Doodles, was quite terrible. Come on in.
He enters and looks around sheepishly.
My goodness, you barely fit through the door. You must be related to a Boyardee, aren't you?
I am indeed Demeclees. I am Beefaroni, Chef Moyardee's eldest son. Well, his only son, truthfully.
Yes, you have that signature roundness that befits your family.
We like to say it's a signature sauce, Demeclees.
Yes, I've had their bacon before. You know, it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Pepper-cracked bacon, you have exquisite taste, Demeclees. Perhaps we should have some after we finish our histories.
It's not really a lesson. You're just here to write. You can write, right?
Of course I can, Demeclees. I've been able to write for a long time. I've been recopying my father's recipes, but he still thinks my letters need some work. So here I am, ready to be of service.
It's hard to believe that even with all this siege going on that you can stay so rotund. Is Moyardee flush with food still, considering we haven't had any new deliveries?
There's nobody blocking the docks, Demeclees. We're still getting food in by sea, and a good chef always nibbles.
We're quite short on onions, I'll just say that. We haven't had many of them, and I'll tell you, if they send us another load of shrimp, I'm going to have a real problem.
I love shrimp and onions. Did you know that you can grill them both in pig fat?
I'm pretty sure you could fry pretty much anything in pig fat if you have enough pig fat. That's not really what I'm saying. Look, shrimp is just a garbage animal and shouldn't be fed to anyone. It feasts on garbage on the bottom of the ocean. You know that, right? You know you're eating things that are garbage if you eat that, right?
But Demeclees, they taste so yummy. How could you not like shrimp?
Garbage does not taste good. I'm done with this conversation. Let's go and get to writing. First, I think you wanted something of a history. You said we have to recap the last 5 weeks. How long has this siege been going on?
Well, Demeclees, we're on day 26 of the siege, but I've been instructed to gather all the information since you've returned from your scouting trip from Varden Hollow, so it's everything since then to go into the history of Seafall. I also have all these letters from other noble houses and towns throughout Balcar, asking us for different goods, services, warnings. All the correspondence for the kingdom is all here.
Let's get to the histories and make sure they're crossed off before we go to anything else. Maybe we'll get to the letters.
Righto, Demeclees. It looks like the last entry in the book was the return from Varden Hollow, the scouting mission, with you and the other members of your personal entourage. What happened since then?
Well, we went out to Varden Hollow with dear old Elric. You know who Elric is?
Of course, he's Cedric the Tamir's brother. Or he was, anyway.
Yes. That's exactly who he is. He is the Tamir's brother, a robust specimen of health when we first met him, and we went out to Varden Hollow, and there was all sorts of, the usual nonsense, ominous fog, mysterious trees, lots of goblins, but this time we also saw a purple bear warrior, like really purple, actually purple. Have you ever seen anything like that, outside of an eggplant?
I have not seen something like that, O noble Demeclees. Eggplant-colored bear. I wonder if they'd make a good bear sausage.
We did kill it. His spine did a full accordion. It was quite impressive. One of our people, I believe it was either Axel or Nictor, or maybe a little of both, definitely hurt him with their fists and hammer. Anyway, meanwhile, I, Demeclees, located and liberated a fellow gnome, her name Ida Hotspur. She was trapped, you see, in prison. She was very upset and wanted to run away, but we didn't let her, and we brought her along with us for the rest of the adventure. She's exactly my type. A gnome.
Ida Hotspur? Continue on, Demeclees. What happened next?
We started to go upstairs, and it was all, silence until we got to the top of the stairs, and then, well, just cut it off there and name this chapter Barely Bacon.
Barely bacon. Demeclees, I understand the bear, but why the bacon?
Elric has a real penitence for bacon. And the thing is, I had this real strong sense of doom that he was going to die. And I thought for sure he was about to have a heart attack. Well, anyway, you'll see in the next chapter what really happened.
Ooh, I love a good cliffhanger. Please, continue, Demeclees. What happened next?
Anyway, we saved a lad named Henry Stormrider in this chapter. It turns out he had been lost for a long time. I believe you know who he is, right? Henry Stormrider, he's very important to the Temir.
Yes, Demeclees, Henry is the Temir Cedric's son. I remember you doing that, actually.
Yes, the son. That's who he was, the son. And you know what? I actually called it. I saw it in my soup the night before, you see, that Elric, the brother, was going to have a gruesome demise. I thought for sure it was going to be the bacon, but actually, it was a meat hook. Same place, the heart. Took everything out of him. Quite literally. Very surprising. All because of one very sassy lass, her name being Bella Ravenfield.
A raven shield? Well, you know what they say, Demeclees.
No, I don't know what they say.
You mess with the sauce, you get the noodle.
What kind of noodle are you talking about?
I don't really know, Demeclees. It's just something my dad always said. Seemed appropriate here.
Well, no words, just a hook. Brutal, quite literal hook through the heart, raised him up into the sky. He was dangling there. We weren't even going to bring his body back, but I insisted. I made sure someone shot down... Oh, wait, did I do it? Yes, I did. I shot down the body. Quite impressive. I have many skills, you see, beyond seeing the future. And you know what happened? He landed with a great splat. Make sure you spell that properly. Yes. See, I saw this hole in the future. It was considered a portent of success, so I knew we would survive. But it wasn't like that at first. See, as we fled with the body, we took a stolen carriage, pursued by goblin wolf cavalry, which apparently is a thing now. I never knew wolves would ride with goblins. It was very strange, but imagine trying to steer while being screamed at by wolves and gnomes and them jumping all over the carriage. It was quite exciting, but I saw it. We were guaranteed success, even when it was very, very close to the very direst of circumstances. Right at then, that's where fate showed up. And we succeeded. We lost all of them, and we got back to Seafall. Now, henceforth, this chapter shall be known as Hooks and Portents. Write that in bold, triple underlined portents. And add a little doodle of a spider if you can. I want people to know.
I'm not much of a doodler, my lord Demeclees, but I could draw a bow tie pasta next to it. How about that?
It's very different from a spider. I believe they're called forfelle.
Maybe I'll do a macaroni instead.
Keep writing. We made it back to Seafall, still breathing, and mostly intact. I mean, we had a few people who lost their feet. I think it was Axel. Yes, Axel lost a foot because of the bear warrior. Now, the fun part of this is they threw us a feast because... when you return with a mystical crown and only a mild body count, you get chicken and compliments. It's quite amazing. And everyone thought we were amazing. And all the townsfolk were up in valor. They were honoring people like Tobias Greenleaf, who straight up murdered a bear warrior. Quite impressive for a lad of his young age. And you know who also did that was one of our people, Nictor. He was quite good. He also killed a bear warrior. And Axel, who lost his foot while killing the bear warrior. And then there was Sven and Hawkeye, who were very, very brave. And then there was Manx, who was also there.
I remember that you were also very brave, my lord Demeclees, in all of this combat.
Oh, yes. I'm going to leave my part to this in the end. I orchestrated the whole affair with my divine fortune and tactical brilliance. You see, it was all part of it, but I don't want to take all the credit. Would you believe? All they gave me were these fancy robes. Anyway, I'm not going. Don't write that down. You can leave the robes out. Just say, Demeclees, thank goodness he was there, for without him, the mission might have been very well doomed. And add an extra O into doomed so they know I'm serious.
Doomed and disastrous?
No. Don't make up your own things. Recitation. That is what your job is. This shall henceforth be called, and I think you'll like this name, a feast for the living.
I love that feast, Demeclees. Good one.
Now, next, what happened next? Oh, yes, we woke up. And many of our people were quite drunk. I didn't find it too hard at all. I was probably riddled with onion facts. You see, I spent most of the feast talking about onions.
I love eating onions, Demeclees, especially boiled in pork fat.
Did you know, in Sunvale, to know your onions means to be knowledgeable?
I didn't know that, Demeclees. What a good saying.
And in fact, in Port Haven, the phrase the big onion refers to a part of Port Haven's province.
I heard in Port Haven there's an entire guild dedicated to the onions. Is that true, Demeclees? Have you heard of that?
Oh, the Onion Guild? Yes, everyone knows the Onion Guild. They're quite influential around there. Although a lot of people do cry at their meetings.
Have you ever been there before, Demeclees?
No, but I've sipped their port. And I'm not talking about the seawater.
Letter here from them, Demeclees. Should we skip to that, or should we stay with the histories?
Well, since we're on this about Port Haven, what in the devil would they want? What is the letter? Read it out.
To Cedric, Tamir of Seafall. Bumper wine grape crop this year. Should have 60 additional barrels of Port Haven port. Any interest in 2-ton bins of raisins of extra crop?
Yes to the port, no to the raisins. Actually, double no to the raisins.
Demeclees, whatever do you mean? Raisins are delicious. Put them in a cookie, or a cake, or a pie.
If you put raisins in a cookie, you are literally a devil.
By Mara's coral graveyard and the sauciest of tomatoes. What do you mean, Demeclees?
Do you know what it means to eat a cookie and think you're about to eat a chocolate chip and then it turns out to be a raisin? You've hoodwinked someone and you should go to jail. Moyardee better not cook with raisins.
I will take your opinions back to my father and make sure that we don't accidentally get any raisins in any of your food, Demeclees. Are you allergic?
No, they're just grapes possessed by the devil. They're the worst possible thing you could do to a delicious fruit like a grape. If you take a grape and take everything good out of it, what are you left with? A wrinkled, shriveled piece of evil called a raisin.
Do you want me to really put in the note that we do not want your, quote, evil shriveled husks?
P.S. No raisins. We'll keep it polite for now. If they insist, then yes, they will feel my wrath about the raisins.
Yes to barrels of Port Haven port. No to raisins. Though again, if you were asking me, I would really like those raisins.
Thank goodness no one is. What chapter were we on?
Oh yes, of course, Demeclees. I'm sorry, I'm distracting you. We were finishing up with the Feast of the Living, and you were discussing the bravery of Axel and Nictor, and of course yourself.
Yes. We're talking about the next morning, I believe. Didn't we wake up the next morning being a little bit hungover, but actually I was quite fine. Everyone else was very, very hungover. We woke up expecting to have a nice, light, easygoing day, but it turns out, there were people who needed to be saved in the countryside. So along comes Saeed and said, "Oh, you guys should go do this thing." Myself, Axel, Nictor, and Manx, what I call the Seafall 3, 4? Nah, we don't have a good name. We need a name for ourselves. If you come up with something good, make sure you give it to me. Anyway, we had to go out to the countryside. We found the Greenleaf Farm, which was naturally on fire. There were goblins, screaming, arrows, and also Manx was on fire, and also was the cornfield. And it wasn't our fault. Make sure you write that down. It was the goblins that were attacking that burned that field, right?
Field on fire, not our fault.
Underline goblins, and can you, I don't know if you can bold it, make it thicker or something? Add seriously at the end of all of that.
Seriously, not our fault.
Yes. Amidst the blaze, we did find Ida Hotspur, though, which was nice. And she was very alive, actually. It was kind of surprising. We thought she had definitely died. And we saved the Greenleafs, extinguished Manx, and then returned victorious. And thus this shall be called Breakfast Spiders and Goblin Tears.
I understand goblin tears because you defeated goblins at the Greenleaf Farm. But why spiders for breakfast, Demeclees? You don't eat spiders for breakfast. Onions, yes. Raisins, of course. But spiders? No, thank you.
I do not eat raisins, sir. And if you want to be remained as a sir and stay as my page, you will never, ever bring up raisins. Anyway, spiders because, well, you know, spiders have an exceptional amount of value when it comes to fate. We discussed the whole thing in the very beginning of that morning. We had a long conversation about spiders and fate and the web and how everything is all connected. It's very, very good. You should have been there, you know? If only you could go back in time, but unfortunately you can't. Anyway, from here on out, let's go to the next chapter.
Well then, on to Chapter 9. What happens in Chapter 9, Demeclees?
Well, we returned to Seafall, and it was very quiet, almost too quiet, except for the war drums. Yes, constant, menacing, really, seriously, dangerously scary war drums. They followed us all the way back, you know. We had to run, quite quickly, through flaming cornfields and avoiding large armies of goblins. And then when we finally got here, we go up onto the walls, and, would you believe it? Bella Ravenshield, back again. But this time, a full goblin army is there. The walls shook. The people were panicked. I stood firm. You know, I had someone raise me up on their shoulders just so everyone could see that I was very brave. But Seafall, unfortunately, was under siege. And I guess that was 26 days ago. This one really needs no flourish. Just call this chapter The Drums.
Signed Beefaroni Moyardee, October 23, 1172.
My goodness, I think you've earned half a potato by the end of this. You're quite good at this, much better than that last page, Doodles. Whatever happened to him? Did they throw him over the wall?
If you'd really like to know, Demeclees, I can find out. You said his name was Doodles? I can find out what happened to him.
Yes, inquire as to where did Doodles wind up?
I'll find out his whereabouts, Demeclees. Shall we move on to the remaining letters?
Yes, all I know is the next chapters that are spoken of will probably be very bloody. This siege does not bode well. I do get the sense that there is lingering doom. Any letters for me, you said?
We have a number of letters, Demeclees. Let me see what we've got on top. We have an inquiry here from Tideport. They have an abundance of shrimp and are requesting any additional lumber.
I've heard enough. Let's just burn that one. Burn it. Good, you're not questioning on the food anymore. You've learned shrimp is a garbage food. Next letter.
We have a letter here from Abbot Titus from Sunspire Abbey. Warning of a giant spider has been sighted in the desert, rumored to be 12 foot across. Is that possible, Demeclees?
12 feet across. Most spiders that size we found somewhere deep underground or in the mountains. I wonder where it would put its web. They must be talking about tarantulas. There's plenty of giant tarantulas around, but many people mistake tarantulas for spiders, you see. Do you know the difference between the two?
I do not know the difference, Demeclees.
Oh my goodness, there are so many delightful differences between spiders and tarantulas. Here's the first thing, the difference between spiders versus tarantulas, and you should write this down so you get them clear. 1, spiders are sometimes hairy, and tarantulas are always hairy.
I don't have any recipes, Demeclees, on how to make spiders edible.
Well, tarantulas are also bigger than spiders, so if you're going to eat either one, you should probably choose the spiders. You're overweight.
The only thing I could ever imagine is frying them in pork fat, for the extra crunch.
I imagine a tarantula would, but I would never eat a spider. They're too spiritually significant. You see, spiders create large webs to catch their prey. They're an excellent symbol for fate, but tarantulas, on the other side, they're pretty useless when it comes to portents and seeing the future. They use their web to create comfy homes underground and sleep or rest. They make web doors, that sort of thing. It's quite unsymbolic, quite boring, actually. So, eat the tarantula. Don't eat spiders, unless you want to tempt the web of fate. Did they say anything about this tarantula being friendly, or was it not friendly?
It is simply written as a warning to travelers in the area, Demeclees, that a creature of that size is on the loose and has been spotted.
Oh, also, tarantulas eat meat. Believe it or not, there are some vegetarian spiders. If you ever find one, I'll tell you. They're very good in predicting what happens in nature.
Should I write that down, Demeclees? That vegetable-eating spiders are good at predicting natural things?
You should be writing all of this down. How are you not writing this down?
It's only a tiny scrap of parchment for me to send all this back to them.
Just explain to them that it's probably a tarantula, and unless they get in its way or are very, very delicious looking, they shouldn't worry too much about it. Oh, and can you ask them if it has fangs that go up or down? Just to verify that it's a tarantula. A desert spider wandering around on all 8 legs would be quite fascinating. I can't imagine that it would actually exist. Where would it build its web in a desert? It's probably a tarantula.
Fangs up or fangs down. Next letter, Demeclees. Looks like it is a request from the capital at Helenon for all able-bodied bricklayers to assist in the rebuilding of the cathedral there for good pay in coin.
Yes. Can you reply to them saying, can't send any right now until we are out of this siege we are in. Please send troops, and we will very quickly, after you send troops, send bricklayers.
Cannot send bricklayers, currently under siege. You send troops. After siege, we send bricklayers.
Excellent. You understand the power of negotiation well.
We have news from Saltonspire as well. It says bumper year for pear crop, 40 tons available. Any interest in pears, Demeclees?
Did you say a 4-ton pear?
No, sorry, Demeclees. It's 40 tons of pears, not a 4-ton pear.
Oh, 4 tons of pears. I was going to say, my goodness, a 4-ton pear. I mean, I don't like pears, but I definitely would see a 4-ton pear. 4 tons of pears? Ugh. Right back, ask how many of them are sandy.
How many pears named Sandy?
Yes. If they only send us the ones that aren't sandy and are actually ripe by the time they get here, then we will take those pears only. But if I get any pears that are sandy or are rotten, because you know pears, they basically rot within 2 days of you getting them, and they're quite sandy by the time you try and get them. Have you ever eaten a good pear? They're quite impossible to find.
Please, Demeclees, I love pears.
Yes, everyone loves a good pear, but you can't find a good pear.
Oh, please, Demeclees, every pear is beautiful. You can turn them into a juice or a tart.
You need food standards, and your waste will thank you for them.
Demeclees, pears are beautiful. Asian pears, Bosque pears, Anjou pears, Bartlett pears, all perfect.
You sound impaired when you talk about pears like that.
Fine, Demeclees. Have it your way. Our last piece of correspondence, then, is from the herders at Swift Hollow. Says here they have 400 new baby lambs available.
Yes. Send them to us. We will take the lambs. Any price. We need the lamb. Lamb is good. And very delicious. Also, ask them if they can throw in mint for the deal.
Yes, send us lambs and mint. That's all correspondence today, Demeclees. Any other notes you'd like to add in the histories before we wrap up today?
Well, I suspect that we might want to reach out to some of these houses and inform them of our siege. Has Cedric informed you of any of the houses that we should reach out to?
We're only a day's sail from Tideport and House Sea Snake. They've always been relatively friendly. And 2 days' walk to get us to House Moonshadow. We could write to both of those houses, Demeclees.
Sea snakes. Oh, sea snakes are a bunch of pirates, and who knows if they can be trusted. If we wind up having to eat shrimp and raisins, we'll have to reach out to them. Well, for now, I'm not ready to jump into the sea snake's bed. But if you reach out to some of the other houses, perhaps we should work on those letters tomorrow. I'm starting to feel quite fatigued. You've really riled me up with all this discussion of shrimp and raisins. I can't think straight. Perhaps tomorrow we can write to those other houses and request aid. Day 27. No more raisins.
I will leave you now, Demeclees. Have a marinara rest of your day.
Thanks for listening to this episode of You Rolled a 1, Catch-Up Letters to Demeclees. Remember, if you're telling anybody to listen to this podcast, rather than having them listen from the beginning, the Letters to Demeclees episodes should allow them to catch right up to the most recent episode in no time. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next regular episode.